I also went to Friends Beauty Supplies, and yeah, they had Sigma there. They had Visa Art cream powder palettes. They had the color switch. They also had benign banana powder. I had like a ton of banana powder there. I think that's the only shade they brought. But the Sigma brushes were there. They were selling some individually, some as sets, and I picked up my absolute favorite contour highlight brush, and it's the Angle Kabuki from Sigma. Here, let's slide this out. So yeah, I use this for contouring on one side, and I flip it, and I use that to highlight it. Not nice. So I was happy about that. It was $19 to pay cash, but I did debit, and they charged me $24.06 for it. So I was like, oh, I should just pay cash on it, but oh well. I also went to Royal Langnickel after I went to Friends. I was kind of disappointed actually, because I was going there for the green line brushes, and they didn't bring any to the show because they're promoting their Love Is and Guilty Pleasures brush sets. So I liked those brush sets. There's some certain shapes of brushes I wasn't too happy with within the brush set, so I ended up getting out there another new brush set, which is the Monda series. Let's do this way. Monda. I freaking love the shape of these brushes. They're also very dense. They're staggered, yeah, I'll say staggered texture. So the powder brushes got the more texture fibers. The cream products have the straight filament fibers. And I would recommend this for anyone because they're all well made. They actually feel like the Green Line series, except for it's supposed to be cheaper made. I don't know. But I was pretty happy with that, and you might see this again. I also picked up some FX texture brushes. Like I said, I checked out the Dillium, and I actually prefer these shapes a little bit more. These are from the Vargas, I hope I'm saying that right, series. So you got this wider muscle texture, and you got this fine finger striper, I guess. Yeah. So I was pretty happy to have these. They might sell this line at Michael's. I'm not 100% sure. But we'll see. And the other brushes I picked up was, the one I wanted to pick up was this Green Line eyeshadow brush. They only have one in the series, and if you could tell, it's a paddle brush, but it has a very tapered point, which makes it great for both applying eyeshadow and also like really getting into the crease by just using the tip of the brush. This is the Revolution series one, and as much as I like it, I do have one more of these. It's just a bit fluffier at the end, so great for packing on, but great for blending, but not for precision placement of a crease color. I also wanted to pick up a second Sigma angle brush, which I mentioned, but I kind of wanted to try this one out, and it's very similar in terms of the shape, and it's the BX25, but it's a little bit narrower, it's a little bit wider, and I'm hoping that I like it, because it was also $24 at the show versus $35, $36 retail, so if I do like this, I'll probably pick up more of them. Nigel's was there, so I did end up purchasing something, but it wasn't lashes because I have a ton. Like, I have a full drawer of lashes to work through, so the ones they were selling were the natural hair ones they made in Indonesia. The same ones that Ardell repackages, legitimately. Now, what I was really excited to try out was any of their cosmetics brought. Fortunately, they had Too Faced and Anastasia makeup there, and of course those palettes sold out right away with whoever's in line. But another thing I was surprised to see, and it's the first time I've ever tried it, was the Kevin Aquar Sensual Skin Cream Foundation Concealer. The texture of that is beautiful. It was the first time I'm able to try it out in person, so it was really nice. Unfortunately, they didn't have my shade, which is 01. They didn't bring the lightest one, which is kind of annoying. You're coming to Canada, expect some pale girls up here. Paler than normal girls out there. But yeah, it was kind of nice to try it out, and I might order number 1. Number 2 was really way too dark, so I'm worried that number 1's going to be still too dark for me. I have no idea. But I picked up these basic whale palettes. I've got 2 of them. and they were $4 each. Heidi D makeup, or she's a makeup artist slash model, was there again this year. I didn't check out her booth last year, but this year I was on the hunt for some unusual colored lipsticks. Now I checked out Lip Bar. They were nice. Their deal was like $10 or $15 per lipstick, but I wasn't loving the colors I was seeing, and I were sold out, I think, on Bourbon and Kamikaze. There's also Yabby Cosmetics. Not Yabby. Yazzie. Yazzie. Get those names right. Again, they had a lot of primary colors. I wasn't feeling any of the shades. Like, they had primary blue, red, they had a peach I was looking for, nude. I think they had a purple. But I look forward to seeing what other colors they come out with. But for me, I was looking for a peach tone to replace my Ever Hit MAC lipstick. And I think I hit the jackpot. I haven't tested it out. It got a little mucked up. But this one is in Tipsy from Heidi D. Yeah, there we go. Heidi D Cosmetics. Get the name right. She also had like a ton of peach shades. Now this one is the most pink out of them, but there was like 7 more. There were peach tones and different depths of color, different finishes. Apparently she's a really fan of peach tones, so I was really impressed with the lipstick quality when I was testing it out. Same with their blushes, and all the products seem to be $10 there. I also went to Lit Cosmetics. Now, I'm a big fan of their product lines, and it's kind of nice to be able to see it in person versus ordering online, which is what I've been doing for a while. In terms of why I was going, they mentioned they had new limited edition shades, and honestly, no, I didn't see any new shades really, because they had the shades that they didn't have before from Sephora collections. Mexican Lucky was a shade that they also had as a giveaway that I got, so it wasn't new to me. But I was really impressed with the holographic shades. I only have one of them in share, and online you can't really see the reflection and the quality of them. So I ended up picking up 4 for $35, because the first 3 is $25 and it was $10 each afterwards. So I got Barbie Shop, which is a reflex rainbow glitter. It has no color, even though it looks white in the can or jar. And it works with every eyeshadow you can imagine, because then again, it's just a rainbow wash over top of whatever color, and that color shines through it. The holographic ones I did check out was Superfly, which is this gunmetal gray with rainbow reflex. Again, I'll probably will be doing a post on all these glitters. I have a lot. I'm a little addicted. The other two that really caught my eye was, I'm going to open this one up, was Bar Star. Now, I think this one isn't the one that were on display, because they have 2 different sizes, and this is size 2, which, although it's very pretty, didn't seem quite as holographic in comparison to maybe the size 3 I was looking at. Again, I didn't ask about the sizing, because the lineup was a little long to get to it. So by the time I got there, I was like, I just want to order. I already know what I want to buy. And I also picked up Heartbreaker, which is beautiful, beautiful deep red. And again, this one doesn't look quite as holographic. So again, they might have had the size 3 and this is size 2. That being said, I would love it still, and I would love to use it on my lips. They were also nice enough to give me, what is this one? Yeah, this is the waterproof, it says water resistant, but it's waterproof lip glitter. I used the basic one. These jars last forever. Unless you're doing like tons and tons of glitter, I can't imagine even going through the half of the large jar. And yeah, this one you can only use with disposable brushes, because you can't wash it out of your brushes, which is, I kind of want to test that with some synthetic brushes, but at the same time I don't want to use my good brushes on it. And they also gave you this little fan to help you dry your glitter faster. One of the last booths I go to, and I usually wait till the end of the day to hit up Makeup Forever, just because there's always a lineup. Doesn't matter how busy this show is in terms of like the amount of attendees. Usually for the first morning into noon, like the early part of the afternoon, there's usually a pretty good lineup for Makeup Forever. And it's because it's Makeup Forever Montreal, which is the Canadian distributor for the brand. So they were offering 40% off everything. And that's the Canadian prices. Now I ended up picking a few things up. The first one is the full coverage concealer in 1. I'm technically the shade 2, but they discontinued that shade, so this is kind of like a neutral beige shade, and it does work fairly well with my skin tone. This one is $26 or $27. Again, that's Canadian retail. They also had the new Artist Shadows, which I knew they were going to bring because it's part of their permanent line instead of being a limited edition one. So they were $16 each, which didn't seem right in my head, but I was used to seeing the US price for them, so it is still 40% off Canadian retail. No tax too, which is helpful. This is matte 500, which is like an off-white. I think it's called Ivory on the website. And yeah, it's like the lighter shade of a nude tone. It's definitely within my skin color range. Next one I was debating on, and I'm debating because I wasn't 100% happy with the texture of this eyeshadow, but it's 540 matte. It's a cold gray beige. It's a little bit powdery, but I'm using it mostly for contour of the eyes. Again, you can use it as, well actually all the shadows you can use as for face contour too. So you can use it on the cheeks, the highlighter. Again, you can use this as a face highlighter as well if you wanted to go there. And the last one I picked up, which is Golden Rose, or I forget what the color is, name, but it's an iridescent shade, and it's 804, and it looks really pink. It looks more pink in the pan than it is on skin. It's technically a blush. It looks amazing on this eyeshadow as well, but it definitely has the more of a peachy tone. It's got the pink base with the gold reflex, but it kind of applies like a coral color. One of the last things I got at the show was I was running out of my Eve Pearl Moisture Primer, and the booth was actually kind of quiet by the time I got over there. I couldn't see that, but I decided to try the new HD Moisture Primer. HD Primer Moisture? Yeah, weird name. But I guess it's similar, we'll see. It's my first time trying out the products, but I was really shocked by the discount. It was like 60% off, so this only cost me $15 Canadian, which that's really good for any primer, let alone this much product in it. I also, very last minute, grabbed, let me grab this, one of their beauty blenders, their technology beauty blenders. It's got the EPL logo in it. But one of the things that surprised me is, like, even though it's very similar in shape to the discounted version, I pick these ones up usually at drugstores, Les Cosmetic online, Cosmetic online as well, which is a bulk distributor of like disposable products for cosmetics. They look the same color. This one is so much softer. I was kind of like, wow. Actually, let's take it out of this one. But it's legitimately less dense. The texture is more like velvet, and it was only $3. I should have grabbed more of these, but I was like, I thought it was going to be very generic, so I was like, oh, I can buy these at a drugstore. But yeah, I'm really happy with this one. Especially when you consider the price of the beauty blender. It's like $20. This one retails for $20 online as well, so the fact that it discounted to $3 was like, are you discontinuing these? Because they're awesome. The last thing I did in Toronto was actually hang out with my friends. So I left IMATS around 3:50-ish, we'll say. Basically just right after the Battle of Brushes, which was amazing to see because it was actually the character designs, not the beauty ones. And yeah, it's the first time I've seen that kind of work because I only usually go on the Saturday IMATS, so they switched it up this year. I was like, looking at the work on stage, I'm like, this looks like a character design. I'm like, yes. it was kind of neat because you can see most of the fashion or beauty ones are usually all female models. They actually dictate that they are all female, whereas the FX character one, you're allowed to choose. So me and my friend hung out, had some supper, and then before I left, we went to the Inglot Inglot store, which is now in Dundas Square. They opened up around the end of September, which I was kind of like, well, I was there when they were open, when first opened. I wanted to go so bad afterwards. But it was kind of fun because my friend has never tried out Inglot products. I loved them for the past 4 years, I would say. I have a really large Inglot eyeshadow collection, particularly with the rainbow ones. So my main purpose was to pick up the last 5 new shades from the rainbow line. Unfortunately, it didn't have the 131, which is this light pale peachy color, but they did have the other 4, which is 134, 135, 132, and 133. I also want to do a shout out for the Inglot Canada store in Dundas Square because it was the nicest, not overwhelming, relaxing, educational experience I have ever had in retail, in a retail location ever. The staff were wonderful. They let us browse, but they're really waiting for us to ask questions. If they didn't have an answer, they would look for one. Yeah, it was just fun trying out all the products, especially the foundation and concealers. Unfortunately, none of them matched me because, again, I'm really pale, but the shades were gorgeous. And, oh, what else? Yeah, despite the fact that I didn't get the gel liners there because as much as I like the formula, they dry out quicker because they're in a plastic jar. There's no avoiding it. Whereas my MAC, where is it? My MAC fluid line / chroma line, gel pot, whatever these things are called, they can last quite a while because of that gel, sorry, it's the, let's get this open. It's got a thicker wall and it's a glass pot, so it seals a lot better. The packaging feels a little better too, so yeah, it's been pretty good. Last thing I bought just because I couldn't find what I wanted. Does that make sense? I couldn't find what I wanted at IMATS, and it was like a new synthetic powder brush. Now most of them were retailing for like $20. It was more bedazzling tools, crown brushes. I was checking them all out. I was like, I don't want a synthetic powder brush that's $20. It sounds weird, but it's like, you know, when I use a powder brush, it's not really to place powder on my face, but knock it off. So I ended up picking up this Still Spa Essentials brush. It's at Walmart. It's taper, which is what I was looking for. It's synthetic. It's really soft. I was surprised. I was like, and it's only $6 Canadian, so I was like, yeah, that was a good one. So I hope you enjoyed this IMATS haul. I realize I kind of blasted through it. It's just I'm being used to talking to a camera, and yeah, normally I'm a little bit slower when I'm trying to explain things, but I'm like, I was thinking about refilming certain segments, we'll see. And yeah, if you have any questions about products or pricing that I didn't mention, let me know. I kind of remember what the pricing was. Mac and Makeup Forever was kind of an exclusion, because I was like, I know it was 20 and 40% off the Canadian retail prices.